Hey, I want to thank you so much for joining me right now. One thing that I want to address that's kind of come up in the last week and a half or so is this whole gay Captain America business. And as a person who's clearly a fan of Captain America, and I'm a Christian, I thought I would address this. Now, before I really move into that, first thing I want to say is I used to make fun of the holiness movement that the church was engaged in back in like the 60s, 70s, 80s. And what was the holiness movement? Basically, they said we need to be different from the world, so no drinking, no movie theaters, no movies, TV, no bars, no dancing, etc., etc., etc. And so what they did is they completely rejected what was going on in the world and did their own thing. And so what you actually saw is just a lack of engagement with the culture, trying to understand where the culture was at and all this kind of stuff, because we can't engage with it because we have to be different. We need to be holy. So there is some good to that. And I used to make fun of all of it, but I have a better understanding as I'm watching what's going on in the world. So now when I look at our culture, look at our world, and I'm going to now talk about this, right? So we see that Marvel is going down this social justice warrior path, right? They're pursuing all the racism stuff. They're going all down that road. Hollywood at large is on the exact same path. So we need to ask ourselves, as Christians, what's the rational response to all of this, right? So I would suggest that as Christians, what we can do is we can keep and engage with the stuff that was good from the past and active and current today. The good stuff, right? So it passes the smell tests, passes what is the okay content, right? Now there's going to be levels of conviction that are at play here, right? So some people can handle swearing, some people can't. Some people can handle a bit of violence, some people can't. And you need to work out of your own conviction, and you need to do that, because otherwise, if you start breaking your own conviction, you're actually dishonoring God, right? And we need to make sure to honor Him first and foremost, because it's all for Him. Now, just because the new stuff is trash doesn't mean that all the old stuff is. So we can still engage with some of that old stuff. And so but what we do is, for the most part, we're just going to wind up having to ignore most of the modern stuff, right? It doesn't mean all of the new content's going to be trash, but a lot of the new stuff is, as we watch and see. So we just ignore it, right? We just don't engage with it. And it's the idea that you just don't give them your money, right? If they don't have your money, they can't spend your money. So just don't invest in things that are garbage, right? They will ultimately, in the end, these businesses, these corporations, they will follow the money. And if the money is not there, they're going to stop. They're going to have to stop. Otherwise, they'll destroy themselves, destroy their livelihoods. So, what can we do? How can we kind of create some filters? Well, you can ask this one question. I think this one question will really help, and it will require you to put a little bit of effort into researching. But ask yourself, what are the values that the company is actually enacting upon, not just saying, right? So I'm going to go for the low-hanging fruit. I'm going to target Disney right now. So low-hanging fruit would be Disney is saying they're pursuing diversity. They're pursuing all the SJW, the woke stuff. They're empowering China and reform camps for the Muslims, while saying simultaneously, we need to be a company that doesn't pick sides. We need to be a company that believes in people and stands for the moral thing to do. So clearly they're not, right? Disney is also saying they believe in strong and powerful women, and then they fire women who disagree with them politically, who are strong and powerful, and then shame them, right? So what can we further do? We can create new content, right? So I think of Comicsgate. If you don't know what Comicsgate is, feel free to look it up. But functionally, what it is you're going to see people who were mainstream or indie or whatever, creating their own new content to push, to grow in, and it's quality. A lot of stuff is quality, and I think it's helpful, right? And the goal is to see those things start to become mainstream. And Christians especially need to be good at this. Historically, we've not been good at this, but here's the thing. We have all creator, all powerful God at work in us. So we should be better at making content than the world in general, and telling more compelling and engaging stories, right? Whether it's based on reality, based on history, based on figments of our imagination. But we can have that more balanced, more rational, actually scientific understanding to things. And so that's in my mind some of the things that we can do to engage with the culture, but also be different from the culture. So the Holiness Movement back in time, I don't think was largely helpful. I think it created more problems. However, now as Christians, we have this opportunity to kind of create a new holiness movement that says, you know what, we're going to be a part of the world, but we are going to be different than the world, and we are going to create better content than the world. So don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Don't say all the old stuff is just now pointless and useless. Engage with that old stuff, the quality content, engage with that. But we do have a call to ignore and to distance ourselves from the stuff that is actually garbage, the things that actually oppose God and what he's called us to do and how he's called us to live. So those are some of my quick thoughts on the whole gay Captain America nonsense and just all that stuff in general. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment on in the comments, and maybe I can engage with you there. Have a great rest of your day, and God bless.